Hello and welcome to Dungeon Arcade, an actual play storytelling podcast with three friends and another guy. My name is Adam. Normally I am your dungeon guide. Is that what I started calling myself? I feel like that's what I started calling myself.
You've just called yourself a lot of different things.
Or game guide. I'm going to go with dungeon guide. Normally I am your dungeon guide, but today we are playing a side trail, which means that we are going to be following one of our characters on a one-off, which means it will hopefully be a nice, concise episode DM'd by one of our player characters. It means I get to play. So
you do play your Capris.
And yeah, I can. That's something we didn't encounter last time. Is Capris?
Nope.
So that's something that the DM can bring in if he wants, and I will play Capris if that is necessary or it feels appropriate, I guess. But usually I try to avoid it in side trails because Capris knows a lot in most of the time, but I don't know anything in these, so it's hard to play Capris in these. Okay, so I am going to be playing a little fella named.
Hey, wait! Don't say it yet.
Oh no. Okay, I'll kick it over to Alex. I'll let Alex go from here. So Alex is going to be our game guide today. Alex, take it away.
Okay, cool. I just didn't want you to spoilers anything.
Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Almost ruined the whole side trail.
Almost.
We're like 30 seconds in.
I actually prefer to be called Dungeon Lord.
Okay.
So my name's Alex, and I'll be your Dungeon Lord today. I normally play the part of Ella. Yeah, we didn't do intros, so you guys can introduce yourselves and your normal characters, perhaps.
I'm Michael, and I normally play Asher.
I'm Nathan, and I am still currently playing as Dashner.
Because Dash is side trail.
Yes, that is mine.
There it is.
All mine. I also just forgot that I wrote "is on fire" under additional features a while ago, and I'm
It's not really an additional feature.
Under additional features and traits, I wrote "it's on fire." Forgot I did that.
Nice tight intro, guys. Really proud of it.
Good stuff.
It happens.
As we said, today is Dashner's Side Trail. I'll be your Dungeon Lord today. This is my first time officially dungeon mastering. So, just give me some patience, all right?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Adam, do you want to kind of just like remind everyone where we left off? What did somebody just like swallow a bug or something? What was
I
that?
swallowed a beer, so that was probably me. I also hit my knee at the same time because you made a good point, and I was emphasizing that. So when we last left our characters, so not last episode, but 2 episodes ago, there was a wildfire that was started by Ash, led to a lot of problems between our 3 friends. There's some conflict in Ella, who thinks that she's not entirely sure that the people that she is aligning herself with have her best interests in heart, and she's a little bit afraid of getting close to people and them dying or whatever, or hurting her in some way. Dash has gone feral for the first time in that incident, which for those of you who are just joining us, it's super weird. You really should go back and listen to some previous episodes rather than jumping in here. He has just gone feral. So he is part werewolf. He's been turned, so he's not born werewolf. So for the first time, he was uncontrollable in his werewolf state and very nearly died because he caught on fire. Pretty much was only saved by Capris, who is a demon that everyone is bonded to because they all broke a vase together. This is a convoluted story we've woven, guys. And then Ash, who was the one who ultimately started the fire, doesn't really understand what has happened. There's a really interesting conversation we could have about whether Dash understands why he even acted the way he did. He was very adamant about putting out the fire. That was first and foremost for him. And I think Michael has a really good grasp on why that happened, but Ash himself probably doesn't really have a great grasp on it, which is something that's going to be fun to explore in the future. But right now, pretty much everyone's gone their separate ways. They're taking a little bit of a break from everybody because of everything that just happened, and they're sort of dealing with their own things. And this is leading us into the side trail that has been designed by Alex, which I know almost nothing about.
I will say up front, and I've been on record on this podcast saying this before, that the similarity between the names of Asher and Dashner are silly. And unintentional. We're just gonna kill Dashner today. Spoiler. Just so we don't have to deal with him anymore. So
I'm leaving for school soon. It's just going to be a really easy way to free up all of our schedules.
We're just gonna kill Dashner.
Just going to go ahead and kill me off.
No, I don't expect that happening. Stuff would really have to break wildly for that to happen, and it's kind of like an off-screen death. I don't plan on that happening.
Just the next main session. Has anyone seen Dash? Oh yeah, he died.
Wow, that's weird.
You guys didn't hear?
Poor kid.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
How many days do you think it would take Dash's parents to realize that he's dead?
At least 3.
At least 3. Okay.
I'd bump it to 5.
I was going to say probably 5. At least 3 though. Best case scenario is 3.
The only one, well, I guess not the only one with parents, but the only one with like parents who are present are really absent still.
Alrighty, so since this is Dashner's time to shine, I would love, before we jump into the action, Nathan, could you tell the listeners and all of us, tell us and remind us what the story was that led to the incident where Dashner became turned into a werewolf and then received his amulet. Just go ahead and tell us the details of that story before we start.
Cool. I haven't read this since like we first started, so this is going to be fun. Do I need to like go through his entire family history that I wrote down, or just the story of him turning into a werewolf?
Just tell us about how he turned into a werewolf. Like,
Okay,
do you have like a Mark Chapter 1 lineage going on here?
I did kind of have that. I did start off with Dash did start off at his birth, but
That was a sweet biblical
don't need
reference.
that.
Real proud of that.
did not catch that. Anyway, it was 9 when it happened. He got into an argument with his parents and ran out into the woods to calm down. At the same time, there was a noble werewolf family that is the Fenricks. We're playing a game, or it's called playing game, not like a game, but the game itself is called Game with a capital G, which what that is, for people who don't know, this is in the Terry Pratchett. I never read those books. I looked it up.
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of introing this podcast, did I? So Dungeon Arcade is
fine.
an actual
Again,
storytelling podcast based in the Discworld, which is created by Terry Pratchett. We're just playing in his space. We're not trying to steal any of his intellectual property. Don't sue us.
Yeah, I looked up how werewolves work in that universe just because I didn't really want to majorly break canon. But there's a thing in that universe with werewolves called game, which is played with another human rather than all werewolves, where a human goes out basically into like a forest or something, and the werewolves try to hunt him. And if they catch him, then he is their dinner for that night. But if he survives like an hour or something it is without being caught, then they invite him back to their manor for like a very fancy feast and celebration and everything. So they're playing game, and one wolf saw Dash like just kind of hiding behind a tree, and bit Dash without really thinking, accidentally, instead of the human they were hunting. They realized the mistake and canceled the game and everything, contacted Dash's parents and took him back to the manor to like help treat him. And then as an attempt to kind of right things, they gave him the Crescent Moon Pendant, which allows Dash to basically control his transformations unless it is a full moon, which is forced transformation, but that's always how it is.
Yep, unless it's a full moon or you're under extreme stress while there's a different phase of the moon out.
Yeah, or the whole going feral thing and all that.
Yep. Great, thanks. How much would you say, if at all, has Dashner interacted with the Fenric family since that incident and like the initial giving him the pendant and all that?
Probably very little.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Would it be
probably went their separate ways after that?
Yeah. Do you think that would you think that they have like ran into each other or like had an occasional touch in to see how people are doing, or has it just been like complete?
That sounds right. Like just the occasion, not anything frequent by any means, though. Just kind of like a hey, we didn't forget that you did this thing to our son, and they didn't forget that they did this thing to try to rectify. Like they're still aware of it and they catch up every now and then, but it's not like they're not old like family friends and everything.
The way that I would imagine that is like if your parents, from time to time, almost threateningly like remind them, hey, you did this thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Great. All right. Well, let's, on that note, jump right in. So, Dashner, you, after the events of the previous night and after everything that went down, you talked about going home and sneaking up to your room and getting some rest after nearly dying.
Yep.
And so you just had a wonderful night's sleep, as one would after the long, exhausting day or series of days that you had. And so you wake up later than usual the next morning. And Dashner, what do you do with your pendant when you're sleeping?
I think he probably sleeps with it on, just to guarantee that there's no random transformations that would randomly happen.
Sure.
Like he probably never takes this thing off unless he, for some reason, would absolutely have to.
Gotcha. The first thing you notice when you wake up lazily, from your groggy state after a big, long night's sleep is that your room's a little chillier than usual. And as you look around, you notice that a window is still cracked open a little bit and the blinds are ever so slightly blowing in the breeze. What do you do?
Probably get up. If I'm cold, I'll just get up and close the window, probably.
Okay, this is like, you're like awake now. This is probably like, I don't know, 10 to 12 in the morning. You've slept in pretty well.
And I would guess, never mind to that, then just like get up and go into one of the living rooms, I guess, or the dining room or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, you go downstairs into the living room, and your dad's there reading the morning paper. And he says, does he have a voice? Adam, do you want to play him? Did he have a voice?
I mean, we've spoken to him all but 3 times in this entire campaign so far, I think. So
He's just kind of like snotty guy, right?
He's just kind of got this air about him.
Yes.
Morning, Dash. You slept in today, didn't you?
yeah, it was great. It was good to sleep.
Any plans for the day, Dashner?
I don't really think so. No, I'm just gonna hang out around here, I guess.
I'd say you've earned that. You've had a busy few weeks, haven't you?
I suppose so. Yeah.
Hey, Dashner, if you're gonna laze around all day, why don't you say you change out of those pajamas and come join the family, dressed as you should? Go back upstairs, change out of your pajamas.
All right. I do that.
Okay, as you take off your sleeping shirt, you notice your pendant's gone. You're not wearing it.
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna finish at least putting on clothing so I'm not half naked for whatever comes next, because that's not a fun way to spend the campaign.
Cool.
And then I guess I'll go back. I'll check the room first. That's probably the first thing I would want to do.
Yeah, you remember when you think to check your room, you remember that that window is open. That window's never open. Why don't you make like an investigation check to
Ooh, I think I'm
see
really
if you
bad
can
at
find
those.
something in your room, perhaps.
Investigation. That is intelligence +0. 15. Not a minus. Not 10 or below this time.
All right. With a 15, you notice. I imagine you're looking for your amulet or pendant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You turn things over. Can't find the pendant in your room, but you notice on your bedside table, close to the window, a folded up piece of paper that is worn and yellow, and unlike really anything that you would find in your house.
This feels like the start of a Skyrim quest. I open the note.
It's the lusty Argonian maid.
Dang it! I knew it was coming. That's another thing I wrote in my thing. I'm cursed. That book always shows up every 2 weeks. I don't know where it comes from. I tried like burning it. I tried throwing it away, and it just always ends up on that bedside table every 2 weeks on the dot. It's Tuesday. I forgot.
That would be the most petty curse to put on somebody. No matter how much they try to get rid of this erotic novel, it always ends up showing up somehow.
You have been cursed.
That was good.
You grab the note and unfold it, and inside, sprawled in scratchy handwriting, it says, "You know the place. Signed, The Pack."
Ugh.
All
right.
Before we go any further, we probably should have done this off the top. We mentioned this in our last episode, but I just want to clear up the werewolf mechanic, because especially since you don't have this pendant in your possession, this will be relevant.
Yeah.
So werewolves have to save on a specific throw to stay in control of their form, especially under the following situations. If the moon is out, or if they're under heavy stress, those things trigger their beast form to arise within them and want to take control. So you just roll a d20 straight up. If it's a 11 or higher, you save, you stay in control. If it's a 10 or lower, you fail. If any of these things happen at a full moon, you roll at disadvantage. If these things are both happening at the same time, if you're like under heavy stress while the moon is out, you roll at disadvantage. But if the moon is at a waxing phase, which is the slivery phase, then you roll at advantage. And then different werewolves, depending on their maturity and natural or converted status, have modifiers to that roll. A werewolf that is, for instance, like an older werewolf who has been for a long time, and who is a natural, would have like a really strong bonus to that roll, whereas a younger person or a converted werewolf would maybe have less of a bonus.
Just, I guess, a question.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a Pratchett thing. I could be wrong, but I think there are werewolves in the world that pretty much are exclusively in their werewolf form at a certain point. Like they could turn into human, but they choose to be werewolf.
Oh, cool.
Is like it just to give you an idea of like something else that can be put into the world. Not that I don't think anybody we're directly involved with is going to be like that kind of thing, but it could be like a funny thing that like someone's great grandfather he's just a wolf all the time. He just refuses to turn back into a human, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good. So, Dashner, for you have there's no modifier to your roll. It's just straight up.
Yeah, that's kinda what
since you haven't
assumed.
really had any experience with staving this off. So you have found that note. It says, "You know the place," and it's signed by the pack.
I'm going to go back downstairs.
Okay. Dashner, thank you for gracing us with your put-together presence. Fine outfit. Would you care for, what time is it? About 11 o'clock? A nice brunch, perhaps?
I think I might have to take a pass. Something just came up.
Oh, pity. I thought you would stay the day with us today.
I might be back later. We'll see.
Well, I won't.
DM's gonna kill me off.
Imagine like a 12-year-old saying that to his dad. Yeah, I might be back later. We'll see.
Will you then? Huh? Well, you are a busy boy, I suppose. I won't be holding my breath.
That's great, Dad. I'm just gonna leave the house
Okay.
before these interactions continue.
Where do you go?
Probably Fenric Manor is the first place I would check.
Fenric Manor is a ways away from your house, I would say.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably like a few hours journey away. But if that's where you want to head.
Based on how you said that, I'm gonna guess that's not the correct answer. So I'm gonna check then the forest
Okay.
where he was originally like turned.
Cool. Where is that forest? Is that near your house?
Yeah, part of me wants to say it's like the same forest that Ash lived in for a while too. It's just like this really big forest, but like he kind of went out and towards the middle whenever he got turned.
Would you have to go through that forest to get to the Fenric Manor? Seems like a fair
yeah,
thing.
probably.
Cool. So yeah, you head out towards the forest in the direction of the Fenric Manor. Do you remember the particular spot where you were bitten?
Yeah, I feel like he'd probably remember that pretty easily. It was behind. There was kind of like a small clearing with a little stream running by it that he thought was peaceful, just to kind of chill out after this argument. And he just kind of started napping behind one of the trees there, and that's where he was mistaken for the hunty, I guess, the hunted human or whatever, and got bitten.
Cool. Would Dashner avoid that area or intentionally go through that area as he's walking through the forest?
If something was signed by the pack, I feel like he would intentionally go through that area.
Okay. So, Dashner, you're walking through the forest, and as you near the area that you described with the little creek nearby and the big tree, you get close, and then you see something out of the corner of your eye, and you look towards that area where you saw the glint, and there's nothing there. And then maybe in the other direction, you see another something come out of the corner of your eye. You whip around and turn that way, and there's nothing there either. And then when you look forward again near the tree, in front of you are 4 human folks. And one of the oldest of the 4, a man in his mid-20s, says, "Long time no see, huh, pup?"
Yeah, it certainly has been a little bit.
That is Raymond Fenric.
So I'm start writing names down again.
The oldest brother of the Fenric children. And near him, this is more for the audience, I suppose. I don't know if you would know who all these people are, Dashner.
Okay.
But flanking Raymond are Carrie Fenric, played by Michael.
What's up?
17-year-old sister of the Fenric family, incredibly competent, very elegantly beautiful. Tori Fenric Gray is Raymond Fenric's wife, who is converted and voluntarily became a werewolf when she married him. And then there's James Fenric, played by Adam, who is the youngest Fenric sibling. He is maybe just a year or 2 older than you, Dashner.
I take out the note, just like, I suppose it was you guys who left me this?
Way to go, genius. You figured it out.
Yeah, I didn't ask for the sarcasm.
Listen, Raymond speaks up. You remember my father, right? Mr. Malcolm Fenric? He would have been the one to give you the amulet.
Yeah.
He's not the easiest man to gain the affection of, but lucky for you, he's worried about you. And I can't say I blame him. My father is concerned that poor little Dashner Roxton is out wandering around without a pack, and that we've made the situation worse by giving you this pendant and enabling your weakness. It seems we've given you a crutch, and by doing so, we've eliminated from you the 2 things every werewolf has: a pack and that indescribable fear associated with turning when you don't want to. But it's that fear and that pain that turns us into who we are. So here we are, starving you of realizing who you really are.
Are we like circling him with this? I feel like we're walking around in circles at this point.
Yeah. The pack is kind of wandering, kind of slowly walking towards you, Dashner.
All right. If he's concerned, I'll go talk to him or whatever it is you need me to do. I mean, it doesn't seem like this is going to get resolved by me just going back home. So
my father's a busy man. He can't be bothered with such things. Such is why we're here. And he pulls the pendant out and kind of tosses it up and down in his hands, and then he hands it to Carrie, Michael's character. He hands her the pendant.
Yeah. I just take it and kind of like just dangle it between my fingers.
You ever heard the expression lone wolf? It's complete bullshit. No such thing. At least not for long anyway, because that lone wolf can't last more than a couple days out in the real world before a real pack gets a hold of him. You're acting as a lone wolf. It's time you joined a pack. By this point, they've kind of encircled you and are uncomfortably close to you, Dashner.
You know, you've thrown a lot of things at me that I really don't understand all at once, such as the whole joining a pack thing. So, like, I mean, what does that even mean?
What does it mean to join a pack?
Yeah, like...
You ever heard of a wolf pack, brother?
Yeah, that one's pretty easy.
Packs look out for each other. Harm to anyone in the pack means harm to you. Harm to... When one of us wins, all of us win. But when one of us lose, we all lose. You can't survive as a lone wolf out here.
So I'm guessing you want me to join your pack then?
Yeah, it's your choice, brother.
You're giving me some serious Drifter vibes right now, by the way. But
I did kind of fall into that, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know of any other packs to join, I guess. So, sure.
Here's the thing about this pendant. We're gonna hold on to this for a little while. You see, what I told you before stands. If you never learn how to control this stuff on your own, you're just gonna become weaker and weaker. Sometimes it takes a push.
I did have an incident even with the amulet, so that was fun. But this might actually work out all right then.
He kind of slaps James on the shoulder. An incident.
Yeah, I bet he had an incident already. Well, pup probably nearly died.
You're not wrong.
Why would we add him to our pack anyway, Ray? We're just going to make it weak.
I don't plan on lighting myself on fire anymore, if that's what this is about.
You heard our father, James. He's going to be
He lit himself on fire, Ray. You just heard him.
Unintentionally.
Let him burn. Send him out into the world. Who cares?
I rolled a 3 or something.
Now, James, just because you, and he kind of like slaps him on the back of the head with a little bit of aggression that you would do a younger brother. Just because you're the one who accidentally turned this kid doesn't mean you got to be all mean to him.
I think I kind of like look down. Like I don't like being like hit like that for sure, but also like I know my place in the pack, so it's like. But I like look down and I like make eye contact with Dash, and I just give him like the most death glares ever. And I'm like, just because you're part of our pack doesn't mean you're one of us.
Now, Dashner, if you're going to roll with us, you got to know the crew. I'm Raymond. This here's James. He's the one that bit you. You guys have a special bond already.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Yeah, hatred another.
I don't remember doing anything to you specifically, but that's all right. This seems like a pretty one-way sort of. I feel like only one of us really has justification to hate the other one right now, but that's fine.
This.
Sorry, continue your introduction line.
And he grabs Tori by the shoulder and pulls her close. Is my lovely wife, Tori. She just kind of wordlessly gives a soft smile and looks at you. And this here is Sister Carrie.
Don't call me sister.
But you're my sister.
It is kind of weird when you say it, Ray.
Sister Carrie, what about Brother James?
She just glares at him.
Let me let you in on a little secret, Dashner. Carrie is not the one to fuck with.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really planning on trying to pick a fight with any of you.
Smart thinking. All right, Dashner. So, if you're going to be a part of this pack, you got to show us that you're in. There's no such thing as being halfway in. You understand me?
Yeah, like a fraternity initiation.
I don't know what that is.
A fraternity. It's like a group of like brothers. Like
a pack.
Yeah, like a pack, Ray. God. I swear, it's just a tip with this guy.
Dashner, you ever heard of the Church of the Silver Flame?
Have I? Hey, DM or both DMs, I guess. Have I?
I would imagine that based on how the Church of the Silver Flame is constructed here.
I mean, Nathan hasn't really heard of it, but I don't know if Dashner has.
Yeah, they exist in an area of town and socioeconomic class that is pretty untouched by Dashner. So I would say unless you rolled really well on a roll, you probably don't know who they are. Unless Adam has some insight.
So this isn't going to be. So this is something that is important for the future. It's not necessarily something that will be relevant right now. But when you were running away with the Angle Angel axe, you hid amongst a group of monks.
Mm.
And these monks were a part of this church.
Hey-o, that's fun.
Cool.
So it's not. So you. I don't think that you didn't recognize them at the time. I mean, in that moment, you weren't paying attention to what you were doing, and they seemed to help you. So it was kind of weird. So like right now, you don't recognize those monks as this church, but like at some point, you can roll to like recognize those monks as a church.
Gotcha. I was gonna say I rolled to see if I recognize the name, and I got a nat 20. So I don't know if that means anything.
All right. Well, then with that roll, you know that the Church of the Silver Flame is a pretty low impact religious group that usually operates in the extremely poor sections of Moorpork, and that they are the people that do practice this religion worship the Purified One as their deity, and that again, you're not deeply involved in this, but all you know about these people is that they have like really weird rituals and practice and preach like extreme piety and unity and purity.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Well, you're about to hear a lot more about them, because the thing about these people is they don't take too kindly to people like us. You see, they consider werewolves impure. Man, that just makes my hair stand up on edge. Doesn't it make you, Dashner?
I mean, yeah, it sounds like pretty racist.
I square up on Dashner, and I'm like, well, some of us are impure turned.
Hey now,
Once
James.
again, I really don't think that was entirely my doing. I just would like to throw that out.
I can undo it if you want.
I don't think that's how this works.
Now, boys. This is what we're going to do, Dashner. We're going to roll up on these fools. We're going to roll up on one of these chapters here of the Church of the Silver Flame, and we're going to show them that maybe they do have something to fear when it comes to the werewolves. You see, if they just, said bad stuff about them, that'd be fine, but these folks, they go around finding and killing werewolves. Can't be having that, can we?
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, because like it or not, that's you, little pup.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you say? Here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Y'all walk all the way to you're walking in the direction of the Moorpork side of town, which, as we've established, is the poor side of town. And a little bit in, it's a little bit of a ways of a walk, but before too long, Raymond gets the pendant back from Carrie. Well, actually, he just asks for it, assuming Carrie will give it back to him.
Yeah.
He kind of looks at it for a second and holds it towards Dashner, and he says, "Now, I'm gonna issue a challenge here, Dashner, to show that you can trust us, huh?"
All right.
He extends the pendant to you. "I'm gonna let you hold on to this one, but I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna challenge you not to rely on this. You understand?"
Yeah,
All right. He hands it to you.
I take it.
Okay, I kind of, at this point, this is like a long walk, and I don't really have anything noteworthy planned for the walk, but what I thought this would be a good time for is, Dashner, if you have any glaring questions or conversations that you want to strike up with this group. In your silence, James notices that you're not saying anything.
What's wrong, Dash? You scared?
No, I'm just thinking.
Being a little pup, scared.
Just again, how old is James to me? Isn't he like a year older than me or something?
I'm 13, okay?
He's 13. All right. That's a weird thing for him to just randomly yell in character.
Once I'm in character, I won't go
I'm
out.
40.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about things. It's been a long couple days.
For on this walk too, just the general mannerisms of everyone. Ash, James is very like short attention span, like striking up random annoying conversations, playing with stuff on the side of the road, messing with people.
I spent a good like 10 minutes walking as closely behind Dash as I can, trying to kick his like feet as he walks, you know?
Awesome. Hey, can you not kick my feet?
What's wrong, Turn? Can't handle it?
No, it's just really annoying. That's all.
For most of this walk, Carrie is pretty straight line focused, eyes ahead. You know, she's pretty all business here. And James is kind of a little bit more casual. You know, every once in a while grabs like an apple off of a fruit cart. So what do you think, Dashner? Welcome to the pack. You got anything that you're wondering about?
Like, I know the whole like being in a pack is like you said, like the one of us wins, everyone's that whole thing. Like, is there anything specific that I have to like do in a pack? That sounds weird, but like, yeah.
You just got to look out for your fellow pack member. All of us are together.
I like push Dash from behind, and I'm like, yeah, Dash, first rule of the pack is the pack comes first.
That's right. That is the first rule. He nailed it.
Okay, good to know. I still don't understand the hostility in it, but
Carrie, you got anything to add? You're always good for a wise retort.
Carrie, what's the second rule of the pack?
pop quiz time.
Second rule of the pack: don't betray the pack.
That's right. You knew she was going to get it. She never gets those wrong.
Really just a repeat of the first rule, but okay.
The pack comes first. Rule number 1. Don't betray the pack. Rule number 2. You see, there's a subtle nuance in those.
Yeah.
But you don't do either of them.
Yeah, those both don't sound like good rules to break.
It's a werewolf safety net. We're stronger in numbers. You know, there's a famous wolf pack out there, well known. Their legends are told throughout time. Every good werewolf knows it. And they say, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. Those aren't our words. Those are the famous wolf pack's words.
You know, I was going to ask him in the famous wolf pack, but I just don't feel like we.
That's
whatever.
the thing that the Stark family in Game of Thrones says.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to open that. I didn't want to open that can of worms somehow in the universe.
I'm pretty sure it's a variation of the Law of the Jungle poem by Kipling.
It's nothing new under the sun.
Okay. as someone who hasn't seen Game of Thrones, it sounded oddly familiar to me. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well.
Yeah, I don't want to just run this whole thing. Mike and Adam, if you think that your characters, for as little as you've known them, would do anything in particular or ask anything on this walk too, feel free to hop in.
At some point on the walk there, I don't know exactly how we're walking, but basically I want to make it so that way Dash is kind of on the outside of like the group of people. It's like Dash, me, and then maybe like Carrie's kind of behind me and to my left, and Ray is up front, and then Tori is kind of on my left.
I forgot to mention, but once y'all left for the place, Tori went her own way back towards the manor. She's not accompanying with you
okay.
on
So
the
yeah,
walk,
so just like Ray is kind of like in front of me, but like a little bit to my left, and I've kind of like pushed Dash off to the right a little bit, just so he's a little offset. And I'm like, hey Dash, how you feeling? You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, you feel good about all this?
Yeah.
You feel
So
you
far,
feel
pretty good.
you feel good about what we're about to do?
I mean, I don't really know exactly what we're about to do, but
Oh, we're about to kill a bitch.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first person that I've fought. So
Oh shit, he's hard. And I like turn around to Carrie, and I'm like, you hear this? He killed somebody.
I didn't kill them, but I mean, we did
Oh, he's a liar, Carrie. Don't listen to him.
chop his
And
nuts
I
off.
like push your face.
I mean, we cut his man's balls off.
Oh my God!
Like we all stop at that.
Wait, what?
He made a necessary. We had to. They got in our way.
His balls got in your way?
Well, he did, but the removal of his balls really did help expedite the process of him getting out of our way.
And you personally removed his balls.
It was not me who personally removed them, no, but I
Okay, so you didn't fix anybody.
No, I did. Didn't I like break his kneecap or something, or like do something to like his knee in that
You
fight?
tell me you were there. I wasn't there.
I was asking DM. Adam, but
I told you once I'm in character, I don't go out of
I
character.
noticed, but I need out of character for a second.
I genuinely don't remember it.
I don't either.
I know you were not the one who cut his balls, but I'm sure I know you did some damage to him.
I did. I think I like. Oh no! I just kept beating him like over the head with the hilt of my sword or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like it was.
And then we were all like, "This is working." And then Ash cut his balls off, and I was like, "Too far."
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it wasn't personally me, but I mean, I hit him in the head a lot with the hilt of a sword.
And here I thought, Dashner, you were just sitting in your big fancy mansion, having your slaves cater to your whim.
Why does everyone think we have slaves?
In fairness, we have slaves, Ray.
We do have slaves, true, but you do also.
I mean, the weird thing is you're not the first person to bring that up recently. I don't know. This is starting to feel uncanny about the whole slave thing, but.
Huh. It's almost like maybe if someone repeats something over and over again, it might be true about that person.
Oh,
But it's not. All right, whatever.
but you gotten into some spats, have you?
Yeah, a few.
Hey, what's life been like for you out there then? It's not often that you get to swap stories with another werewolf that you haven't swapped stories with before. We're a pretty tight-knit community. We all know each other.
Let's see. What have we done? We've snuck into a mage's.
You want to know how I got this sword? And I like hold up the sword that I have up against me.
Sure.
Yeah. So we were on vacation in the Clatch one time, and I snuck into this monk's room while he was sleeping, and I stole it from him. You know what? And it steals health from people.
That's a weird way of referring to its property.
Mike,
But-
would you roll to see if you believe that to be true or not?
It'd be an insight.
Yeah, insight.
That is a 14.
You know.
Yeah, you know
Adam-
that
Adam would roll a deception though.
he's not deceiving you though, because this is like whether you just have this information or not,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not trying to deceive you. I'm trying to deceive Dashner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carrie knows that this was just your dad's thing that he gave to James, and it's your choice if you're going to do anything with that knowledge.
That's cool. I've stolen a couple things throughout the course of adventures. We snuck into a mage's college. There's a giant orangutan. I got a book from there. We almost got captured.
Wait, you saw the? Hey, Adam, what's the name?
Unseen University.
What's the name of the orangutan? Did we decide?
He's the librarian.
Okay, I'm gonna come up with a name for him.
No, he doesn't have a name. He's the librarian. That's the point.
Okay. Wait, you met the librarian?
Yeah, stole a book from it.
That's my homie, dude.
Oh, cool.
Next time you say him, tell him I say what up.
Yeah, if you see him and he needs his book back, we probably don't. I don't think we really need that anymore, honestly. But he can. I can get it to him somehow if he wants it back.
That's a real chill dude up there.
He did not seem chill with us. Granted, we did steal a book, so that probably would be contributing factors to why.
Man, what a nerd! You stole a book.
Yeah, it was about demons, stuff like that, summoning, which ones are left. You know,
Next, you're gonna tell me you're sitting around at tables playing role-playing games and some shit.
Let's not stoop that low.
I mean, at least we're not LARPing or anything. No, we've stolen a book from a big orangutan. I guess the librarian that you know.
Carrie definitely LARPs, for the record.
For
Yeah.
cool.
100%.
We stole an axe that was worth like a bunch of gold. I don't remember the exact number, but it was it was far more than we had.
Listen, Dashner, you don't have to read us your resume. You don't got to prove yourself in this way. You'll have your chance to prove yourself later.
Cool.
I lean over to Carrie and like pretty loudly whisper, "I hope Dash dies."
Hey, I mean, third time's a charm, am I right? I've almost died twice, so maybe you'll get your wish.
Okay, you continue walking. At this point, you're pretty close to your destination. You've slowly, as you've been walking, noticed the town really shift in the way it looks from where you started, a well-off area with manors and big houses and seeing the Night's Watch with some frequency, to slowly moving into more rural areas. It becomes more heavily forested, trees spat up with more frequency, to the point where you reach a seemingly meaningless place, and then the three Fenricks just stop. And I assume you stop with them.
Yeah, I'm not just going to keep walking past them.
You're at the edge of town of an area of Moorpork, which is, as we've said, the poorer end of the city. And there's just a few buildings in eyesight at this point from where before they were next to each other, like as far as you could see. And you're basically like in a forest or in a clearing of a forest, with just a few small houses. It's clear from looking at the houses that there are more people living in them than comfortably would live in there. There's broken furniture and toys and cooking supplies in the yards, and a couple tiny shops that really just look like booths cut into the front walls of houses than full-on actual shops. And then when you look a little bit further out, right outside the distance of the edge of town is a small single level wood cabin. that maybe 50 people at most could fit inside. Next to that door is a large banner with a design of 2 crossed knives engulfed in a silver flame. And yeah, you're like in the edge of town near a forest. And so you see trees and foliage and birds and rabbits and stuff like you would see in a forest. And yeah, some wildflowers. One thing that is different than what you're used to seeing on the Ankh side of town are some large brown mushrooms that kind of dot the area. In some areas, they're like well controlled. In others, they seem to be overrunning the place. So you stop here at the edge of town, and everybody kind of like gathers themselves, at least the Fenricks do. And he says, all right, Dashner, you ready to figure out what we're actually doing here today?
Yeah.
That over there, and he points towards the wooden cabin. That is the Church of the Silver Flame. Ooh, gives me chills just looking at it. Inside that church, well, probably inside of there, I assume, is a man named Paulus Piper. He's the operational leader of this branch, and I wish I could tell you the number of werewolves and the like that he's killed. I don't know the number. That's why I can't tell you.
I'm assuming it's a fair amount.
It's a number, that definitely. It's non-zero.
I start growling. Like a
Now,
little
now.
rumble.
Calm down there, James. Save it.
I just want to rip his throat out.
You'll have your chance. By the way, I don't know if we made this clear or not, Dashner. We're killing that man today.
All right.
You cool with that?
I mean, if that's what it takes.
You ever killed a man before, Dashner?
Well, I haven't killed him, but like I said, we did cut a man's ball sack off.
You're
and
using
then
that
kind
we
of-
pretty liberally.
Huh?
You're using that we pretty liberally when it seems like it was not a you situation.
I was involved.
Did you hold the blade that separated the testicles from the man's gooch? He says this completely straight-faced.
No, I can't say that I did.
Then you
but,
did not chop off the balls.
I mean, if I had... Fine, whatever. Fair point.
I say this again. He looks you straight in the eyes, unwaveringly. Could you commit murder today?
I mean, it's for a pretty good cause, so yeah.
Hear, hear.
Dilly dilly.
Anything to add there from our other NPCs? I feel like I'm just kind of rolling along. I want to make sure you guys feel like you have the chances to jump in too.
I think after he says that, I lean over to Carrie, and I'm just like, who does this motherfucker think he is?
Who do you think you are? It's not like you're much tougher.
Hey, I can kill that fool anytime I want it.
I just like push him away at arm's length.
I start swinging at her.
I just hold his head back.
I demand a strength contest.
Do it.
I'm waiting for the strength contest
I
results.
rolled a non-natural 20.
Oof.
Ooh. I rolled a 9.
Ha!
James, you managed to break through the stiff arm of Carrie. And are you intending to land blows?
I'm trying to tackle her. Like, I'm not trying to like ground and pound. I'm just trying to like get to her and tackle her pretty much.
I think that with that you're able to reach her and try and wrestle her to the ground. And you manage to stagger her. But Carrie's pretty formidable. And it's not going to let you take her all the way to the ground.
You're cheating! You're cheating!
Are they always like this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, seems like a more somber mood. We're about to go kill a man, but
These are my beloved siblings.
yeah, I mean, I never said that you didn't love them. I just asked if they always were like this.
I stop and I like go over to Dash and I push him. And I'm like, hey, you're not even family. You can't talk about us like that.
I never said anything bad. It was just a general question.
Well, don't ask questions. This is about the pack.
I was specifically asked if I had questions earlier.
Stop asking questions.
With all this commotion that you're creating, you've caused one of the women who lives in this area of town to walk out of her front door. And actually, when she notices you, she swiftly unfurls the like tarp in front of her little shop front at the front of her house, and brushes away some dust, on the top of some glass, and then positions herself directly behind the booth and yells to you, "Hello there, travelers! Fancy a look at my wares?"
I mean, do you guys need anything? Because I don't think I think I'm good.
What if she has really good stuff?
I mean, we could always go look, I guess.
Shut up, Dash.
Come along, travelers, to Tess's Emporium.
What does it look like Tess has at her emporium?
Are you going to walk over?
Well, are there goods for the trade? Has Fenchurch found anything worth selling?
Always good for trade.
He must have found something.
Ray, can we go?
Oh, I don't see why not. It's tough to switch between voices. That's tough mental hurdle.
Welcome to my world.
As you walk near Tess, she glows with excitement. Says, "Yes, yes."
Whoa, like literally glows? Or
Yeah,
like...
she lights on
Oh
fire.
my god, she's a celestial.
She's just beaming with excitement and anticipation. She's like, "Yes, weary travelers, I have wonders and amazements for your perusal here at my emporium. Please, you'll find no better prices on such rare items anywhere in all of Moorpork."
I think we're using the word emporium a little liberally here.
It is an emporium, you little scamp.
What does she have?
As you approach, you see that she basically just has one glass container in front of her, like a jewelry container. And as you peer into the glass container, she says, yes, found my wares, have you? All of
Put 'em
them.
on the table. What are you talking about? Found your wares?
You found them.
It's like a scavenger hunt?
You will find no better prices on such high quality items. And as you look into the case, you see the following items: a silver ring with a jade stone in the ring, a necklace with 5 glowing red beads attached to it, a silver chain link bracelet, and a golden band that looks like a wedding band with some dwarvish inscribed on it.
As a werewolf, I don't want anything silver. So let's avoid that one. How about that?
Is that just like a stereotype, or is that real?
I think it's a stereotype. I don't think it's real. I think regardless of how Terry Pratchett wrote it, I think we should play it as a stereotype.
Yeah,
Like it's not a real thing. Like it's not actually going to hurt anybody, but like werewolves are just kind of like a little superstitious about it, you know?
Just a little stitious.
Just
So,
a little stitious.
Have
Is
my
this-
items caught your eyes?
Is this just jewelry, or is there any sort of... Do they do anything, or...
Yeah, what do we look like? A bunch of chicks? No offense, Carrie.
I punch him.
I deserve that.
The first act of like humility that he showed. I deserve that.
You can wear jewelry whether you're a man or a woman.
That's true, and I'm sorry I engendered people.
Carrie's beat this lesson into him a few times.
Yeah. That's honestly what I like to imagine, is that like James, like his instinct is to say something completely different, but it's happened enough times that like he's afraid of Carrie, so he just has this like he has this memorized.
Feels like a Charlie Brown moment.
Yeah.
You asked if the jewelry does anything.
Yeah.
She says,
Sad
"Who am I to
little
know?
post.
I'm just a humble shopkeep, but each of these items shares a unique and rich history and story. Who
I
knows?"
cast detect magic.
Yeah. Okay. What's that do?
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. You can see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. I learn its school of magic. This spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone,
Okay.
1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
All right, so as long as there's not any of those specific walls in front of us, then we're good, I think.
You see a faint glow around the necklace with the 5 glowing red beads, and it's not just the red beads that are glowing; it's an additional magical glow.
Does it have a school of magic?
Probably.
You can make one up. You can say it's like Hufflepuff or something.
Yeah, it's Ravenclaw. What's the one that makes like elemental things? Like
Probably that's not transmutation, is it?
Destruction? Is that a thing?
Evocation is like fire elemental stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I think.
It's
I think
evocation.
it's evocation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
evocation. It wouldn't be transmutation. That's not right.
Yeah,
So,
I
think
changing materials into another material.
yeah, an evocation is spells that manipulate energy to create something from nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So elemental stuff.
She notices you eyeing that necklace and she says, "Oh dear, do you fancy that necklace? What a beautiful piece it is. You know, I'll let you in on a secret on this one. It turns out one of the acolytes of the church took a liking to this just a few days ago and didn't quite have the means of purchasing it at that time, but I think he'll be back soon. If you want that, you better act fast. It is quite a nice item."
How much is it?
Oh, it's I don't know what we've established like a fair.
I don't know either. I think we established for Dashner, at least money wise, is that I usually have like a fair amount on me, just because I'm rich boy.
Like
But
in
it's not like a small
standard
portion.
currency, how much would like a gold buy?
Starter kit, if it helps at all, like some of the swords and weaponry are like anywhere from like 20 to 50, and like armor's like around 100-ish, I think. Like
100
90.
gold?
Yeah, I would say like a basic sword is going to be like 20 gold.
Okay.
Also, while
But,
this
like-
is happening, I rolled a 19 and my dexterity is +2, and I want to tap dash on the opposite shoulder that I'm standing.
Should I roll like an insight or something to combat this deception?
I would bet yeah, let's call it insight.
I only got a 14. Dang.
Idiot.
Yeah, Dashner, you are convinced that somebody is behind you on that side.
Okay, I turn and look like a normal human being.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was really good. showed me.
That special necklace, normally I would part with for 75 gold, but for you, let's make it 60.
So I'm assuming, since you didn't actually put any coins on my character sheet, that I am broke.
You come from a wealthy family. I would bet that between the three of you, you have enough to buy this. You may have to pool your resources.
I pull out my Python because I have one of those. And I say,
what?
I have a Python.
What is
Pull out
that?
my bag of sand.
Is it just like in the normal like starting adventurers
Yeah,
kits?
yeah.
That's funny.
A Python is like
It's for climbing.
It's a climbing thing. Like you put it into the rock face,
That's
so that
funny.
way you can like hook rope to it.
Yeah, the group I was with last night, we were looking for like the new packs and stuff, and we were like, you get 10. What even is this? Is someone
Yeah.
look at this as like,
I only have one though, which I think is hysterical because why do I only have one? Like, what good is
you
that?
even have rope with you?
I do have rope, but
Okay.
like one Python isn't going to get me that far. It's not going to save me from falling.
Yeah, let's just say that Raymond's probably got like 50 gold pieces on him. And Carrie's got maybe another 30, and James is carrying about 15.
You know, if you guys aren't,
I actually only have 10. I bought a biscuit earlier. It was a really good biscuit.
if you guys aren't,
He spent 40
Yeah,
on
I might
5 on a
get-
biscuit.
Yeah. Not 40.
yeah, if you guys decide not to, I might be interested. So I'll let you guys have first grab though.
You want a glowing necklace, Dashner? That doesn't look like your style.
I mean, it can't hurt.
Carrie, Ray is being mean to Dash about wearing jewelry.
Stop being a tattletale.
I punched Dashner in the arm.
What the heck? You're gonna have to beat my AC of 18. What?
How do you have an AC of 18?
I don't know.
There's no way that's
What am I-
right.
Well, I mean,
He's a fighter.
that's true. If I have, do I have a shield? Because if I have a shield, that's why.
You want to be like using your shield right now.
I know. And then it's probably 16 because I think the shield is what puts it up to. Yeah, like
Yeah, shield's +2.
yeah. So like chain or scale mail is 16, and then shield is +2. So I guess it would be 16 because I don't like. I'm not shielding
It's irrelevant
my arm.
because you're not going to take damage from being punched in the arm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know. I
that's-
just want to see if
that's
you even
the
hit
point.
me. I want him to miss.
Well, I rolled a 15 and then plus strength. Is that what it would be?
Yeah.
16. So
Dang. Oh wait,
Tie
a
goes-
tie.
Ty goes the attacker.
yeah.
Dang.
He hits you on the shoulder and it hurts a little bit.
What? Heck, man.
Okay, who's going to buy this necklace?
Screw it. I'll do it.
What did I say? 60 gold pieces? You
Yeah,
got
that's what
that
you
on
said.
you?
Yeah, you said 75.
Nope. You said. I mean, you said 60 for the other person, but I feel like if you change it, that's just a little biased.
Are you going to outbid him, sweetie? He looks at, or she looks at Carrie.
Well, that's a her, so that's problem one.
Carrie just walks away.
Woo! We got a bidding war.
I win. I mean,
Cool.
if anyone else is gonna, Carrie walked away, so I'm.
I would argue that like Ray probably won't give me money for this. Like, I feel like I know this. Like, that's just not a reality in my life.
Yeah, Ray would maybe give some for Carrie, but not for...
Yeah.
Okay, you give Tess 60 gold pieces, and she takes out the necklace and hands it to you. Hey, question, Adam.
Yeah.
Would a character at this point know the specifics of the item they're receiving if it has certain properties, or would they have to discover them through other means?
They have to figure it out unless the person giving it to them tells them.
Yep. Yeah, Tess just says, reminds him about the cultist who is interested in this. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess I put it on then.
Great. You're wearing a necklace with 5 glowing red beads.
And using the magic of the necklace, I transform into the god of
Hey,
what it does, right?
Hey, Dash. Hey, Dash.
Yeah.
Real talk. You look real good in that necklace. Like, I know I've kind of been a dick to you this whole time, but like, you work in that necklace, dude.
Thanks, man.
She says, "So, what are you folks doing around here? Haven't seen you in this area of town before."
We're gonna go talk to that church over there. And I point behind me, but I don't actually look. I just point.
Oh, to the Church of the Silver Flame.
Yeah, we love that silver flame. It's great, isn't it, Dash?
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm not really a religious person myself, but I do know that a lot of folks from around here do take to their message for one reason or another. What's your business there?
Marketing. We're a marketing team. We're here to market them more.
Oh, to kind of up their public perception.
Yeah,
Sure.
the word out a little bit.
That they could use that. The proprietor of that establishment, he seems like a bit of a hermit. I've never really seen him outside of that building really before. He seems to just hang out in there. Maybe you could get him to show his face to the masses.
Do you know where his office is in there though? We just got asked to come in. We don't know anything about like the building itself. We just,
That's actually a good question. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody enter that building outside of their mass. It seems like the only time that people come in and out is during the mass. And every once in a while, I suppose I'll see the proprietor come in at other hours, but he's always alone. And it seems like he opens the door and then closes it right behind him.
So you're saying it's probably just the proprietor in there right now?
I would imagine so. They don't seem to have regularly scheduled worship services at this time.
Hey, you know how I asked a great question? You gave a great answer. And I turn around and start walking away.
I should probably go with him. I follow.
Come on, Dash.
What the heck, man?